Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I'm Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is our website. That's the online home for everything Ringside Report Network. I thank you for joining us here. If you are listening to us on the radio, if you are watching us on YouTube, watching us on Facebook, watching us however you watch us, listening to us via podcast, radio, however you do it, thank you for joining us here on Wrestling Uncensored. We've got a lot of pro wrestling to get to. AEW making the news this week. Mike Tyson showing up with some MMA superstars, Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, and Henry Cejudo. Triple C showing up on AEW Dynamite this week. We're going to talk about Dynamite. We're going to talk about AEW, All Elite Wrestling, having a very big week. They had their Double or Nothing pay-per-view this past Saturday. If you missed our watch-along, you can go check that out on the YouTube channel. And all our AEW coverage as well. The preview show was on Dave and Johnny Live last week. But we are going to cover some AEW here back on Wrestling Uncensored. We'll also get to everything that's happened in the WWE over the past 7 days, including a new United States champion crowned this week on Monday Night Raw. Drew Gulick returning to SmackDown. Somebody from NXT will officially be called up to SmackDown. And we've got some more matches for Backlash that will be coming up on June 14th. So new matches announced for that one that we'll get to in a little bit. But I want to talk about what is the buzz in the pro wrestling world right now. What is the most exciting thing going, what everybody's talking about. Mike Tyson returning to professional wrestling, having a confrontation with Chris Jericho at the end of Dynamite this week. It was Mike Tyson, Vitor Belfort, Rashad Evans, Henry Cejudo, and a couple other guys that I did not recognize going face-to-face with the Inner Circle, which is Chris Jericho. He leads the group. He's got Jake Hager there, formerly Jack Swagger in the WWE. He's got Santana and Ortiz, the proud and powerful tag team. And he's got the sex god, Sammy Guevara. Or Spanish sex god? Spanish sex god. Right, Johnny?
Yeah, I think it's sex gods when they're the tag teams.
Right. So he's the Spanish sex god, Sammy Guevara. Anyhow, they had a big face-to-face pull-apart brawl at the end of Dynamite this week, kind of out of nowhere. Mike Tyson was at Double or Nothing, and if you want to get our thoughts on Double or Nothing, again, check out the pay-per-view, the watch-along that we had on YouTube. Our opinion's definitely different than a lot of opinions. I was seeing a lot of people loved the Stadium Stampede match. I thought it was a little too ridiculous for my liking. I like professional wrestling to be taken a little bit more seriously than that match. So that was not my favorite thing. I was not really in favor of that. Johnny, I know you didn't like it that much at the time. Have your thoughts changed on the Stadium Stampede before we get to Mike Tyson and Chris Jericho and what's going on there?
Well, that match, no, but I think I like maybe other matches more because I didn't hear it with commentary, and commentary actually helps make matches better. So I think in the end, the pay-per-view was definitely worth watching. It's just, I thought it was kind of ridiculous. The first match was just overbooked, and it's just the way it is, unfortunately. And the last match, the Stadium Stampede, to me, it was ridiculous, but I guess a lot of people like to have a laugh when they watch wrestling.
Yeah. I don't understand why people, if you hated Money in the Bank, why did you like Stadium Stampede? Because it was AEW? Because it was people there that you liked more than the other people in Money in the Bank? Like, to me, they were roughly the same, right?
This was slightly better, the Stadium Stampede. Just the idea of it, I thought was pulled off. I thought the ending was better, too. Little things that made it better, but not by much, though.
That's it, not by much. It was strange. But, look, people love things in AEW, but you can never accuse us of being, AEW shills or just saying everything is great in AEW. We just call it like it is. That's what we do here on Wrestling Uncensored. We call it like we see it. That's why it's uncensored. It's an uncensored opinion on professional wrestling, because so many other shows, they censor themselves. They don't want to offend anyone, or they don't want to damage their potential of getting a job for one of the big wrestling companies. That's not what this show is about. This show is about being honest with you, and when we like something, we'll tell you. When we don't like something, we will also tell you. And it felt weird hating a match with Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks and Hangman Page and all the talent, Matt Hardy. It was a great group of talent, but I just felt like it was totally misused. Now, Mike Tyson was at Double or Nothing. He was involved in the Cody Rhodes, Jake the Snake Roberts thing with Lance Archer, right? But he didn't do anything with Chris Jericho or the Inner Circle. Those guys aren't involved. Now, the next night, Chris Jericho, he's upset because they lost the Stadium Stampede match, and they're going to hold a pep rally. Vicky Guerrero's there. There are cheerleaders there. Vicky was saying, "Are you kidding me?" Which makes me wonder, can she not say excuse me? Is that a WWE trademark? Is Vicky Guerrero not allowed to say excuse me in a wrestling context? Because she kept repeating, "Are you kidding me?" in kind of a excuse me cadence. You know anything about that, Johnny?
I thought on her podcast, like, isn't it called like "Excuse Me"?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong on that. Perhaps I'm not sure, but maybe they were fine with that too. I don't know. Maybe they just wanted it to be different, to feel different for whatever reason.
So I don't know. I don't know why she didn't say excuse me, but so the Inner Circle goes out there. They do a promo. They have different gifts for each other. The gifts are bad. They're upset. They have all these Stadium Stampede champion T-shirts made that, of course, they can't use because they didn't win, like a sports team that, of course, before championship series or a Game 7, you'll have all the gear made for both teams, so it's ready, right? You always see those sports teams, as soon as they win the championship, they have the T-shirt and the hat saying World Champions, and you're like, how do they have that? Well, it's because they're made before, and there's also a whole set of shirts made for the losing team, so that's what they were doing there, a little play off that for the Inner Circle. And then Chris Jericho goes in on this thing, talking about how Mike Tyson is around. He knows Mike Tyson's in the building. And what he did to him on January 11th, 2010, on a Monday night, he will never forget, and he needs revenge from Mike Tyson, right? So, Chris Jericho is taking an angle from Raw in 2010, where he was teaming up with Mike Tyson in a tag team match against Shawn Michaels and Triple H, then known as DX, that incarnation of DX, which was not fun. Hornswoggle made an appearance in this match on Team DX, by the way, and Mike Tyson turned on Chris Jericho for no apparent reason other than DX just liked to make fun of and make everybody they wrestled look like complete buffoons at that time. That was one of my major problems with DX, is that they buried everybody and they just made everything look like a joke. It was terrible. So Jericho's mad that Mike Tyson punched him and turned on him and joined Triple H and Shawn Michaels on that night on Monday Night Raw way back then. So they're using a WWE angle to further this AEW thing, and Jericho, because it was in the WWE, has to be so vague about it that you can't really tell what he's talking about or what he's mad about, right? You have to really do your research. And then Mike Tyson shows up. Research. Yeah, I did my research because I forgot, man. I was like, what is he talking about? I went back and I found it on YouTube, and I was like, wait a second, there's no championship. Mike Tyson talked about Jericho stealing a championship. We'll get to that. You want to hear that? We can play that here. Let's hear Chris Jericho. I'm going to play Chris Jericho here and Mike Tyson. I'll play the promo, okay? So you'll be able to see this and hear this. And you'll see what a mess this was and why I think there's not going to be a match between Jericho and Mike Tyson, because it would be a really bad idea. So let's see here, Johnny. Wait a second. Where are we here? All right, let's try and get this here. I'll get the audio for you here, all right? Listen to this, Johnny.
You might want to turn your heads, folks. You got a piece of leaves.
Just hold on a second. Calm down. Got your thugs out here. You educated gentlemen. I'm going to say this to you one time, Tyson. Shut your mouth when I'm talking to you. Huh? You understand me? I have been dreaming of this moment for 10 years. You turned on me. You looked me in the eye and said I could trust you, and then you turned on me and you knocked me out.
Because you're a sucker, man. You deserve that, man, because you were wrong. You stole the championship.
Okay, so at this point, Mike Tyson grabs Jericho's hand. Jericho has the mic. Mike Tyson does not have a microphone. Jericho has a microphone in his hands, and Tyson grabs it away from him to say that line. Because you're a sucker, you stole the championship. What does he say?
On me, and you knocked me out.
Here we go.
You're a sucker, man. You deserve that, man, because you were wrong. You stole the championship.
Because you're a sucker, man. You deserve that, man. You were wrong. You stole the championship. What championship is he talking about?
I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it's because DX was feuding with Jericho and Big Show at the time. And I don't think Jericho had Big Show that night, so he needed Tyson instead, I guess. I don't know if this match, again, was for the tag team titles. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Can't remember. But
it wasn't.
I think that's what he's referring to, though. There was that tag team title feud.
Okay. That's a stretch. I don't know what Mike Tyson's talking about. And Jericho doesn't seem like he wants Mike Tyson to talk, because I don't think Mike Tyson was supposed to speak here. Jericho takes the mic away from Tyson.
You're wrong, man.
Shut up! All you listen to me. I'm going to give you one chance, and one chance only. I'm going to demand that you apologize to me for knocking me out. Hold on. Hey, hold on. Your thugs need to shut up. I'll give you, hold on.
When you talk about gang warfare here, take a look at this.
I'm going to give you one chance to apologize to me, or I'm going to knock you the hell out.
Drop this fool, man. Drop this fool, man.
At this point, Mike Tyson's ripping his shirt off and having a real hard time doing it.
Apologize to me right now. Okay, you look great. Apologize to me before I knock your damn teeth down your throat. You understand me?
Now, Tyson's just mugging and posing in front of Jericho. It's really weird.
Don't hold your breath, Le Champion.
And he's supposed to push him. There's the push. Jericho pushes him back, and now they all start to brawl.
Tyson, look at right hand on Bill.
So, I mean, it got people talking. It's definitely exciting, but I don't really understand, after thinking about it, where they go with this. I don't see you having a match between Jericho and Mike Tyson. I don't think Mike Tyson can do that. Mike Tyson's not a professional wrestler. How would that work? I know Jericho's a great wrestler, but I don't think that would necessarily work. I'm not sure Mike Tyson fully understands what pro wrestling is. Vitor Belfort was looking at Chris Jericho like he wanted to kill him. For real. I'm not sure Vitor gets it. I don't know if they're all in on what pro wrestling actually is, because they're not pro wrestling people. Mike Tyson is more aware, but I mean, you've seen Mike Tyson, right? You've heard him speak. You see where he's at mentally, you know? I don't want to disrespect Mike Tyson. He's a great boxer, and I'm sure he's changed his ways, but he's definitely had a troubled past. And I'm not sure he can take direction in a pro wrestling context. If I were AEW, I would keep him, as like a enforcer type guy once in a while. Maybe have some pro wrestlers aligned with him so that he could be like a manager type guy against Chris Jericho in the inner circle. But as far as in the ring, I don't know how that would turn out. And I heard Chris Jericho talking about it. He seems like he would like to have a match with Mike Tyson, but he's not sure if it's going to happen. Now, of course, Jericho wants it to go down because he knows it would be big. It would get a buzz. But I'm not sure that would work. What do you think about Mike Tyson versus Chris Jericho in a wrestling match?
Well, I think the main reason they did this was mainly just for publicity for both ends. Because Tyson just wants people talking that he's back in the scene, just back in the combat scene, and he's doing something. So people want to see Tyson more, possibly actually in a boxing match. And I could see them possibly doing that. Maybe this would be like a Piper Mr. T thing where we see like a boxing wrestling match.
Yeah, I could see them doing some sort of not quite a pro wrestling match, but some sort of mixed type deal. You know, some sort of like a promo, like a half match, half promo type deal, right? And if they tape it in advance, they could make proper edits to make it seem halfway decent. But I don't know, man. I'm wondering what AEW is trying to do here, bringing in Vitor and Henry Cejudo and Rashad Evans. When I saw those guys on Dynamite, I definitely was like shocked. I was like, what are these guys doing here? But as a pro wrestling fan, I don't really understand what they're doing. Unless these guys are seriously wanting to be pro wrestlers and study pro wrestling and learn how to do it. If they're just in here for a payday and to kind of raise hell and go into business for themselves, well, that's a whole other thing. And Henry Cejudo, he's just fresh retired off the UFC. For those of you that don't know, Henry Cejudo, the little guy in the back, is an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. Won that for the United States. He is a 2-division UFC world champion at 125 and 135 pounds. He just defended his championship like a month ago and retired after that fight. He's still one of the toughest fighters on the planet. Rashad Evans was there. He's a former UFC light heavyweight champion. Vitor Belfort was there. He's a former champion. This guy is a legend of MMA. Been around forever. Mike Tyson was hanging with some pretty legit guys. It's cool to see those guys, and I would like to think that they would take it seriously, and you know, if they would get involved, they'd actually train in pro wrestling, but I'm skeptical at this point. Just the way Vitor was looking at Jericho, I was like, does Vitor know this is a work? I'm not sure they get it. For real, I'm not sure Vitor knows that this is not real.
Well, I think for them, it's just to play the parts of the entourage. That's pretty much it. I don't know if they're actually going to have matches or anything, but them just being around, I think adds more of a buzz because you know who they are, and the fact that other people do, like maybe eventually wrestling fans will catch on that these guys are legit, because commentating does mention, I think they mentioned Cejudo at least. I don't know if they mentioned Rashad at all, but eventually they'll catch on.
It's weird that they wouldn't mention Rashad Evans. Like, do you remember when Rashad fought Rampage, how big that fight was?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago, though.
Yeah, no one remembers. No one remembers how big Rashad Evans was at one time. He knocked out Chuck Liddell when that really meant something.
And he had the most boring fight with John Jones.
Yeah, it was all right. Didn't he go the distance with John Jones? He might have been the first guy to go 5 rounds with John Jones. Very few guys do that.
He was, but it was a very boring fight.
That fight was really big, too. They had a real feud there. They really hated each other. That was a big fight. Rashad Evans was involved in some really big fights, and it's funny. He shows up with Mike Tyson, and it's like he's not even there. Right? It's weird.
Well, let's face it. Tyson's the biggest name in that ring, so it makes the most sense that happened. I mean, you get people who aren't boxing or wrestling fans, they know who Mike Tyson is. So I think that was a major coup for AEW to get that. And to do the whole like WWE reenactment of the Steve Austin Tyson thing, I mean WWE stole the idea to have wrestler fans. So to me, I feel they're even now.
I guess. I don't know. I think wrestling companies always take from the other. It just happens. It's part of professional wrestling. As far as Mike Tyson goes, are we going to see him in the future in AEW? Was this one and done? Have you heard anything?
Yeah, well, that's it. They haven't announced that he's going to be back or anything. So who knows? This might be that's it, and that's all that's going to happen. I'm sure
Yeah.
they'd love to have him back and actually have a match, but who knows? Again, I think in the end this was mainly just because this works, the timing worked, and I think they're just trying to get more hype for Tyson, and this obviously helped AEW because people are talking about it still.
Yeah, it just feels like this was a publicity stunt. More than anything. More than a wrestling angle, more than anything. This was a publicity stunt that worked. But next week, where does that leave us? You know? It's not... I don't know if publicity stunts like this are good for a wrestling company.
I think for AEW, I think it's fantastic. I think they need something like this. They need that little extra boost. And to me, it was an exciting ending because it's like I didn't see that one coming because they hyped Tyson like on the internet, but on that TV show, there was no mention of Tyson until the end. So it was somewhat a surprise they actually had that.
Yeah, it was a cool surprise, though, at the end. I'll give him that. I thought it was a cool surprise. I thought it was cool to see those guys. I was honestly more excited to see Vitor, Rashad, and Cejudo than Mike Tyson, but that's me. I'm a UFC guy. So I was hyped to see them. I'd like to see them again. I'd like to see them actually go into pro wrestling. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if that's going to happen. Chris Jericho is going to wrestle Boom Boom Colt Cabana on Wednesday on Dynamite. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see Chris Jericho doing. Wrestling Colt Cabana one-on-one. I don't think they've ever wrestled each other, ever. That's crazy. This is going to be nuts, man. I can't wait.
Should be good. I don't believe Dynamite is live, though, next week, because I feel like they're doing that whole, like, it's live one week, tape the next kind of thing. So, like, it's still going to be a good match regardless. It's just when it's taped, you can feel it. It's just it doesn't have that same kind of feel to it.
I don't know. I can't tell the difference, to be honest. I don't know when they're taped and when they're not, and it feels the same to me.
All right, I just find the cuts they're different. It's more snappier, the show, which it's not a bad thing, but when it's live, it feels more organic. Like it helped with the opening segment a lot, where it's like, oh, look, he had a real injury there. Possibly it wasn't, but you don't know because it seemed like things were going so fast.
Matt Hardy and the Young Bucks beating Private Party and Joey Janela. Mark Quinn was the guy you're talking about who sold that knee injury, and Mark Quinn's partner there in Private Party helped him to the back. Matt Hardy, also good babyface, helping him to the back. And then the Butcher and the Blade were ringside, and they took an accidental super kick from Nick Jackson during that match. So Butcher and Blade attacked the Young Bucks after the match, and then the Revival showed up. Or as they're known now, FTR, whatever that stands for.
The T-shirt, it's very unfriendly, that's for sure.
Oh. Well, I don't know exactly what FTR stands for. I know that when they were in the WWE, they used to have FTR on their trunks, and it stood for Forever the Revival. So, whatever. FTR, the Revival, you know them. They were in the WWE, and they show up, and they look like they're going to attack the Young Bucks, but instead take out Butcher and the Blade. And then the Young Bucks look like they're going to shake hands with them, but the FTR guys leave. I thought it was cool. They didn't do what you thought they were going to do, and it makes me want to see their sit-down interview with Tony Schiavone on Dynamite this Wednesday.
Well, like you said, like it was something you weren't really expecting because you expected them to attack the Bucks. But I really hope that they're going to be heels because to me it just feels like there's way too many faces in AEW. It's way too face heavy, and I feel they need a good top heel tag team. Though, unfortunately, maybe that's where they're pretty good, because it seems like they have a lot of good top heel tag teams.
Who is the top heel tag team right now in AEW?
Well, I guess you would say the Dark Order is supposed to be, right? Because they were number 1 ranked, but they're stuck in Canada.
Right.
And the Lucha Brothers, one half of them is stuck in Mexico. FTR is really needed right now as the heel team.
Butcher and Blade as well need to be moved up the card a little bit. You do have a lot of babyface tag teams. You got the Young Bucks. You've got the Private Party. You've got the tag team champions, Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. They're going to defend the tag team titles on Dynamite Wednesday against Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc. Now, Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc beat SCU on Dynamite this week to earn a title shot. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Didn't they already name number 1 contenders at Double or Nothing? Which they did. But then they told us that the Best Friends, who are another babyface tag team, they'll get their tag team title shot at Fyter Fest. But they didn't tell us when Fyter Fest would be. We don't know when Fyter Fest will be. They did tell us that All Out will be September 5th. They didn't tell us where. But Fyter Fest, which is their next event is going to be sometime in mid-July, but we don't know where it's going to be or when. I'm thinking it'll be either the 11th or the 18th because they said mid-July, and it's usually on a Saturday, and those are the 2 Saturdays in the middle of July. So that's my guess, Big Johnny. Kind of weird that they would announce an event but not announce an official date for the show. But I understand they had problems. Of course, everybody's having different issues right now with trying to figure out where to do events and when. Maybe they'll have fans, maybe not. We'll see. But the Best Friends are going to get their tag team title shot at Fyter Fest, and Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc will get their shot on Dynamite against Kenny and Hangman. I don't see Kenny and Hangman dropping the titles to Kip and Jimmy or Trent and Chucky.
Yeah, you don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if they lost it, because if you want Hangman to move up the rankings in the singles division, which I know you want a lot, they're going to have to drop those titles eventually. So if you don't see them losing it by July, when are they losing the titles?
I don't know. I have no idea, man. But I just don't see either of those teams taking it. Maybe the Best Friends. And then you can do something with Hangman and Kenny finally in their singles divisions, because their singles main event division needs Kenny and Hangman more than their tag team division. I'm not really sure why Kenny and Hangman have been in that tag team division. It was kind of an accident, I think. A booking accident. I don't know. It's weird. But I think they're going to move on from that. They have to at some point. So really give it to Havoc and Sabian. I don't care, but anything to get Hangman and Kenny back in one-on-one competition. Cody Rhodes cut a promo this week. I thought the promo was really good. Thanking the fans for buying the pay-per-view. And talking about growing up as a kid and getting called up to TV as a 21-year-old and growing up in front of everybody on TV. I thought that was good stuff from Cody Rhodes. He is the TNT champion, and he will be defending that title on Dynamite coming up Wednesday against Jungle Boy, who won a battle royal to get that shot at Cody Rhodes and the TNT title. So another babyface on babyface match, Cody and Jungle Boy. I think the match should be good this Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. A couple matches on Wednesday that should be really good. Jericho and Colt Cabana, Cody and Jungle Boy. Kenny Omega and Hangman defending their titles is always good. Kip Sabian and Jimmy Havoc, though, I don't know. Should be a good Dynamite, though, Wednesday.
We'll wait and see. But I am happy, actually, with the face versus face TV or TNT title match, because it seemed like in that Battle Royal, it seemed like MJF was going to win that. So I was kind of surprised when MJF won, so I'm okay with surprises.
Yeah, Jungle Boy getting the win there was a bit of a surprise. It was down to him and MJF at the end. That's what's going on in AEW. The Revival showing up. Mike Tyson and his crew showing up. It was a pretty eventful week for All Elite Wrestling. It was kind of up and down. They had their moments, but it seems like their pay-per-view was a pretty big success, and things are going well for AEW, which is good. I'm glad to see things going well for AEW, even though lately I've been a little bit perplexed by some of the moves. There's still a lot of good stuff on that show.
Well, one thing they need to fix is stop having these like squash matches, like or enhancement matches, like back to back. I think Sheeta wrestled somebody, and just like it wasn't like one sided, but she's gonna win. They really need to build up the women's division. There's not a lot of people in there, unfortunately.
Yeah, Sheeta wrestling Christy Janes. I thought that match was a little too long, considering you'd never heard of Christy Janes before. If it's gonna be an enhancement match, shorten it up. I thought Brian Cage and Lee Johnson, that was a good squash. Brian Cage finished him in under 3 minutes. That was exactly the way it's supposed to be. John Moxley was on commentary. That was not great. Taz's promo after, too, was, meh. I'm not really feeling Taz as the manager of Brian Cage.
Yeah, the ripping hearts thing was kind of awkward the way he said it, but I don't mind him giving the catchphrase to Brian Cage. Brian Cage just needs to look more like Taz if he's actually going to be like Taz's guy. But I liked Britt Baker's promo. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh,
About
yeah.
The conspiracy.
Yeah, the conspiracy promo from Britt Baker is fantastic. Britt Baker continues to be one of the best parts of Dynamite every week. She's awesome. She's hurt. She's still great. She's still one of the best parts of the show. Her promos are great. It really, really sucks that she got injured because she was on her way to becoming a great champion for that company. Britt Baker is the women's division in AEW. She's tremendous. Every single week is just great. She's really good.
Well, in the meantime, now they just got to build up other heel contenders now at this point. I think Penelope is going to get a huge push. She'll probably wrestle Sheeta. They just need to build up new people now.
Well, Hikaru Shida right now is the new AEW Women's Champion. She beat Nyla Rose, and Shida, the first ever third champion in AEW. Of course, Moxley is the second world champion. Cody's the first TNT champion. And Kenny and Hangman are the second tag team champions in AEW. The first time a title changes 3 times, the third champion here, Hikaru Shida, the women's champion of AEW. We're going to take a short pause here on Wrestling Uncensored for the radio side. When we come back, we're going to tell you everything going on in the WWE, some new matches made for Backlash. We know who's going to wrestle in the finals of the Intercontinental title tournament, and Otis and Mandy Rose had a bizarre segment on SmackDown that we will talk about as well. It is Wrestling Uncensored. Stay with us. Big Johnny. Time for commercial breaks, dude.
Which one is it first?
Your choice. What should I do first?
How about IP Vanish?
IP Vanish. That's a good choice, Johnny. I like that choice. Let me get that for you. All right? IP Vanish. Now, what you need to do is protect yourself on the internet. You don't want to get hacked. There are hackers out there looking to take your information. Are you using public Wi-Fi ever with your phone or your tablet or your laptop? You need IP Vanish. You need a solid VPN to protect yourself on the internet. You do not want to get hacked. You have sensitive information on your device. What you want to do is go to vpn.ringsidereport.net right now and sign up for IP Vanish. That's vpn.ringsidereport.net. Protect yourself on the internet. Use what we use. Get a solid VPN. Go to vpn.ringsidereport.net. Support the Ringside Report Network and protect yourself online with IP Vanish. Okay?
Nice little ending there.
Thank you. I got to take a sip. Taking a sipski.
It's hot. Got to keep hydrated.
I'm also talking a lot. All right. Let's talk about our friends over at Manscaped, shall we? You're wearing the Manscaped tee. You love it. Look at this. You see this? That's the Lawnmower 3.0. You want this. You need this in your life. You see this? What is this? This is Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant. Anti-chafing. You don't want your balls chafing. And you also want your balls smelling sweet and fresh and delicious. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Big Johnny. We've got nice smelling balls. And they are clean and fresh and just the way they need to be with Manscaped. What you want to do right now is go to manscaped.com, use the promo code RINGSIDE20, and with that promo code you get 20% off and free shipping of any Manscaped order. Go to manscaped.com, promo code RINGSIDE20 for 20% off and free shipping. That's a good deal. And Big Johnny, you use Manscaped. I use Manscaped. We're all using it now. They sent us the stuff. You were using it before they sent us the stuff, which is awesome. And, tell us about it, man. You love it. I want your help here.
Well, when you use the toner, not the toner so much, the trimmer actually, like you can get really close to your balls. Unlike other trimmers where in the past I've been very careful, like, yeah, I get close but not too close because I always feel like you're going to nick your balls a bit. This, I'm like right on the skin. So, and I get pretty much all the hair. So it's pretty fantastic. Get that nice smooth. And like, I didn't even have the toner and deodorant before. And then when I had that, I'm like, man, it feels so much better when you have that on your balls.
What does it
but
do,
you
Johnny?
Need to be careful.
I've not hooked myself up yet with the toner or the deodorant. I have not tried that yet. Now tell me why I need it.
Well, for the toner, I found when I used it, like when I didn't have it before, like I found after I had shaved, like a couple minutes later, it would get kind of itchy because, you just shaved down there. And it's kind of a unique experience. With the toner, I found afterwards, it wasn't so itchy afterwards. And deodorant, it's going to smell very nice.
There you go. That's a seal of approval there from Big Johnny North, and that's what I'm talking about. Manscaped, manscaped.com, promo code RINGSIDE20, 20% off your order and free shipping. That's what you need in your life.
But you also need to be careful, though, because you don't want to get it on the tip of your penis, because that would cause a lot more irritation, actually. So you got to make sure to be careful to have your penis up. And you're just getting your balls for the deodorant and the toner. So be careful. I'm being serious here, by the way. I'm being 100% serious by that.
Oh, man. Do you know that from experience?
Well, no, it says on the bottle.
Okay. Yes. Small amount onto your balls and the surrounding area. Be careful. Be careful with this because it's real stuff, all right? But you should be all right. Oof. You made me hurt there for a second. I was like, it's going to what now? Whoa. All right. All right, John. Whew. I need to take a break after that. I need a break from the break. Goodness. Okay, Stitcher.
You got another commercial. Let's go.
Yeah, Stitcher. Okay, sorry, John. Sorry. At the Ringside Report Network, we've been making podcasts for a long time now, and many of you have been using Stitcher to stream or download our shows, Wrestling Uncensored or Ringside Report MMA. Stitcher are offering you, the Ringside Report universe, a special offer on the premium version of their service, Stitcher Premium. Now, besides all of our shows, there are over 100,000 podcasts that you can access on your iPhone, Android, tablet, PC, Amazon Echo, or in your car on demand, ad-free with Stitcher Premium. They've got Stitcher Originals, bonus episodes, comedy albums, and much more. It's just $4.99 a month or $34.99 for a year. You go to Stitcher.com/premium to sign up today and use the promo code RINGSIDE, and you get a free month. Stitcher.com/premium, promo code RINGSIDE for a free month of Stitcher Premium. Support the Ringside Report Network. Hook yourself up with a great service. Get yourself Stitcher Premium. Es bueno. Muy bueno.
It's good.
Okay. And how about this, John? And now, back to the show. All right, welcome back. It is Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He's Johnny North. RingsideReport.net is the website. Big Johnny. We have so much more pro wrestling to get to here, and we are running out of time. So let's get to some WWE. We talked about AEW. We told you about Mike Tyson. There is a new United States champion in the WWE. He was crowned this week. Apollo Crews beating Andrade. A press slam followed by a couple of moonsaults, and Apollo Crews now is the United States champion. He did a promo after the win. Talked about 11 years in professional wrestling and all the sacrifices that he's made. So happy to win his first championship in the WWE. It was a nice moment. I was happy for Apollo Crews. Here's a talented wrestler. He deserves something. He's been in the WWE for a little while now and really hasn't been given anything. And there's no real reason why not. He's good in the ring. He's got a good look. The promos are a little hokey, but I don't know, man. He seems like he's good enough in the ring, and he looks good enough that they could do something with him. They could figure it out.
I was surprised with the timing, though, because we just had a pay-per-view where there was no title changes, so I thought we'd wait till the pay-per-view to finally do the title change. But this was a good time, too, because this was finally where we had wrestler fans on Raw. So it was a good special moment. You actually had, an atmosphere. So it was actually probably the best moment to have a title change.
Yeah, Raw was a lot better this week because there were fans. They were behind that plexiglass. It kind of looked like a hockey game, right, with the fans behind the glass. And they weren't actually fans. They were just members of the NXT roster, right? Some of the developmental talent. And it made a difference. I don't understand why they weren't given chairs. Apparently they did multiple tapings and people had to stand for 10 hours. In AEW, they get chairs. When you watch wrestling, people are usually sitting down. I mean, yeah, they stand up sometimes, but why were the wrestlers standing the whole time? That was strange. The glass was a bit strange, too. If they're all getting tested for coronavirus and they're all negative for coronavirus, why are they behind glass? AEW doesn't do that. What's with the plexiglass?
Well, there's a lot of criticisms I could make about the way WWE is doing this wrestler fan stuff, but I'm not going to critique it too much because I'm glad they have this rather than not have this. But for the plexiglass, I think apparently this is what they're going to do going forward when they actually have fans back. They're always going to have plexiglass at wrestling shows, so you're not going to be able to slap hands with the wrestlers anymore.
Ever again?
Well, at least for now, or a very long period of time.
They got to bring that back at some point. Could you imagine? That's so weird. That's a big part of the show, the interaction with the fans. You have a barrier there between the fans. It's weird. And the WWE is going to be the only company to do that. No one else is going to do that.
I think it's a good idea because it promotes safety. I like that idea. With the wrestlers here, it's kind of ridiculous, but I think it's just getting you used to the idea that there's going to be plexiglass at WWE events from now on. So I'm okay with that. The 6 feet apart stuff is kind of weird, but again, I think that's how fans are going to have to be. Hopefully not standing up, though.
Kills the fun of sitting on the floor. Destroys it. No fun. As a wrestling fan, what is the point? If you're standing behind a big thing of glass, who wants that? That's terrible. They can't do that full time. I mean, I get it. They want to be safe, whatever, but in a couple of years, if there's a vaccine for the coronavirus, whatever, they better take that glass down so we can slap hands with the wrestlers and have that kind of direct access when you go to a show. It's part of the fun of sitting on the floor, sitting front row of a wrestling show. It's fun.
Oh, I think it'd be a lot of fun just banging the glass, and then everyone starts banging the glass. I think that could create a great atmosphere like that.
No. Are you kidding, man? You can't slap hands? A babyface isn't going to slap hands with the crowd? Really? That's not going to happen anymore? Ever again? Come on.
Well, not ever again. Just for now, because of this pandemic.
How's Kofi going to throw pancakes into the crowd? He's going to hit the
can
glass?
Still throw stuff.
Come on. How's Rey Mysterio going to kiss the children?
You'll just kiss the glass. That's it. That's good.
That's weird. He doesn't really kiss them, but he just kind of goes up to them. I don't know what he does. You know what I'm saying? When Rey Mysterio... You know what I'm saying, John. Rey Mysterio
he's just going to go up to the glass.
He goes up to kids and kind of goes like forehead to forehead with them. It's like, what's he doing? It's like he's giving them words of encouragement. All right. What else happened on Raw? Seth Rollins did a bunch of stuff. He's talking about Rey Mysterio. He sacrificed Rey Mysterio, which allowed them to move into the future. And Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy are really happy about it. And they think Seth Rollins is the Monday Night Messiah. And Seth Rollins is having this whole thing with Aleister Black for some reason. Murphy and Theory beat Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo. Theory hit his finisher on Carrillo for the win. And then Seth cut a promo on Black and Carrillo and told him to stop fighting for Rey Mysterio because he was sacrificed for the greater good. And Seth Rollins is going to hold a retirement ceremony for Rey Mysterio on Raw on Monday. All this stuff was so boring with Seth Rollins. I don't care about anything that he does, man. The monotone way he talks, just the boring storylines that he's in. I don't care about Murphy. I care less about Austin Theory. And I don't care about Seth Rollins. I think him and Ray could probably have a good match at Backlash, and that's the only saving grace of this whole thing.
Well, he's going to wrestle Aleister Black, I believe, this Monday, and I'm looking forward to that. I think that could be a very good match. And I believe that's probably where Rey Mysterio is probably going to make his comeback. They say Ray, he's leaving WWE. I don't think that's going to happen, actually.
Why are they making him such a big part of the storyline if he's leaving the company? I don't buy that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think so. I think Ray and Seth at Backlash makes sense. Aleister Black and Seth, I think, will be a good match as well. Just this current Seth Rollins Monday Night Messiah thing. Is it working for you?
It's not the greatest thing in the world, but Seth is over. He's one of the top heels in the company. So it helps get other guys over at this point, which they really desperately need at this point.
They are trying. Is it working? Bobby Lashley is the latest guy that they're trying to make. He's feuding with Drew McIntyre. They are going to wrestle for the WWE Championship at Backlash in a match that no one believes Bobby will win. They're trying to build Bobby Lashley up. It's not working. It's not working at all. They had a whole promo thing with Drew in the VIP lounge with MVP. And then eventually Drew McIntyre kicks MVP with the Claymore kick. And then the Street Profits are there making fun of MVP after MVP was mocking them for playing golf, which I don't even want to talk about. The Viking Raiders and Street Profits played golf, which was horrible. And mini putt. It was another one of their dumb skits. Please end this stuff. They did the basketball game 3 weeks ago. Last week it was archery. Or no, it was axe throwing. This week they played golf. Every week it's stupid. Every week it's bad. I don't know why this is still going on, but whatever. So then the Street Profits have a tag team match against Lashley and MVP that they win by disqualification when Bobby Lashley put Montez Ford in the full Nelson, but MVP was the legal man. Bobby Lashley wasn't supposed to be in the ring, so the referee called for the DQ. Disqualification for Bobby Lashley and MVP. Drew McIntyre showed up, and then Lashley and Drew McIntyre brawled, and a bunch of the guys that were in the crowd, the NXT guys, they jump in the ring to separate them, and that was the main event of Raw. That's how Raw ended this week. Not good. Not good at all. I don't care about Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley. They've given us no reason to really care about Bobby Lashley other than MVP believes in him, and Lana is like kind of on the outside looking in of the MVP Lashley formation, the team. We were talking about it before the show, John. You made a good point. Who has Lashley beat to get this WWE title shot? How are we supposed to believe in him when he hasn't beat anyone, right? Who's he beat? Tozawa and R-Truth. Those are the only guys he's beat. That's not impressive. Bobby Lashley should be wrestling for the 24/7 title, not the WWE title, based on this current run. But they're putting him up there against Drew McIntyre, who just beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. Two of the top guys in the company. They are doing everything they possibly can to make Drew McIntyre into a legitimate, credible number one guy on Raw, and it still doesn't work. I'm not buying it. I'm not enjoying the Drew McIntyre title run. I don't know anybody who is. What's there to enjoy? That he's big? That he I don't know. I don't know. That's about all I see is that he's big. There's not much there. His match with Seth at Money in the Bank was nothing.
Yeah, it's disappointing so far because it doesn't seem like they're really. I mean, they're trying to push him, but they're not really doing anything with him besides just putting him up against these large guys, and that's it. And he's already faced like the best of Raw, and now he's just got to face what's left on Raw. That's not really going to get him over, unfortunately. But they're trying. They're trying things, and the problem is they're also trying to make Lashley into a believable contender, which is hard to believe. It seems they're just trying to get this MVP Lana thing over. I think that's probably going to cost Lashley the match at Backlash. It just seems like this is a pay-per-view just to do in June and then move on to something else. It's more of a pit stop on the Drew McIntyre title reign.
I don't even see what the end game is. You got to draw out Seth Rollins. I don't understand why they put Seth in there right away with Drew, first pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Seth is your SummerSlam opponent. He's not your Money in the Bank opponent. That was a bad move. Because now you're in a spot where you don't have credible heels to go up against Drew McIntyre. He beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He beats Big Show the same night that they show on Raw the next night, right? And then he beats Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. They've eliminated all the scariest competition that he could possibly face. Everybody else now seems like second tier to the guys he's already defeated. And they're not doing a very good job of building Bobby Lashley into a guy that you believe can beat Drew McIntyre. Oh, so he put Montez Ford in the full Nelson. Did Montez Ford tap out? Did Montez Ford scream?
So.
Did Montez Ford scream in agony? Did Montez Ford look like his neck was going to pop off? Not really. Bobby Lashley has not been built in any kind of way where you believe him as the next WWE champion. And Drew McIntyre has been given all the top stars on Raw so that you can believe in him as the top star on Raw, as the new guy, as the WWE champion. And it's still not really working. People aren't blown away with Monday Night Raw. This show isn't killing it in the ratings. This show isn't electric. And the WWE champion is not doing much to change things. And if you're going to be the WWE champion, if you're going to be the top guy on the show, I would expect more. I would expect better And I'm not seeing it from Drew McIntyre. I'm not seeing it from Bobby Lashley. I mean, they're trying, but there's just nothing there. The WWE didn't do Drew McIntyre any favors by giving him Seth Rollins right away. He just beat Brock Lesnar. He's credible. You don't have to make him Superman. Make you believe that, well, okay, Drew McIntyre, he beat Brock Lesnar, but Seth Rollins did too, so wait till Seth gets a hold of him and delay that. But no, they just had Drew beat Seth in 20 minutes at Money in the Bank. Seth is a top heel on Raw. He's a top guy there. He's always got a storyline. You know that they care about Seth. Will Drew McIntyre have a storyline when his current run is over? Not sure about that. Seth Rollins is one of these chosen guys, and they just kind of gave him to Drew right off the bat. When they could have done Lashley at Money in the Bank, they could have done somebody else here at Backlash and saved Seth Rollins for something like SummerSlam, where then you could believe, okay, now we have a big match. Now we have something built up. Drew McIntyre, yeah, okay, he beat Brock. He beat Bobby. He beat, Angel Garza or Andrade. But can he beat Seth Rollins? That's the big one, but they already did that. So what do you do now? You beat Bobby, and then what? Jinder? Remember Jinder? He came back, and then they kind of disappeared him. I think they were like, oh, wait a second, let's pull him off TV so that when he comes back to feud with Drew, it's like, oh, yeah, Jinder. That seems to be what they're going to do. I don't know, but I don't know what else they do with Drew McIntyre. They've given him everything already. He's beaten everybody. What's the point?
Well, maybe this is a big reason why they're doing this whole Raw and SmackDown thing where you can have the SmackDown talent come over. So maybe someone from SmackDown will wrestle Drew at the pay-per-view next time.
Okay. Give King Corbin another chance. Or the evil Sheamus, who, from what I understand on SmackDown, hit Elias with a car. Or no. So, this is what happened on SmackDown, and now I'm going to explain to you the crimes of Sheamus, okay? So, on SmackDown, Renee Young is outside the Performance Center. Elias has been hit by a car. There's a rental car there that's been discarded. That's the vehicle that hit Elias. Elias is being hauled off into an ambulance. There are cops there. The cop goes into the car, touches the dash, and of course, this paper falls down that says, oh, this is Jeff Hardy's rental car. It's so easy to find the evidence. It was really dumb. Braun Strowman is an eyewitness, but he's not sure who hit Elias with the car. He just saw it and he can't believe it. No one got these hands. And that was all you saw from the Universal Champion on the show, which was odd. And then Jamie Noble, Jason Jordan, some referees and cops rush to Jeff Hardy's side. They find Jeff Hardy's like behind the building. I like that the cops told Renee, step back. This is a crime scene. But Jamie Noble and the referees were allowed to go there, right? Renee can't go there, but the referees, Charles Robinson is fine. Well, he's an official, right? So it's different. Anyways, Jeff Hardy, he's like all out of it. And the cops are like, oh, you smell like alcohol. You probably did this. And Jeff's like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what happened. What's going on here? So then they arrest Jeff Hardy. And it's clear that Jeff Hardy has been framed. But he gets arrested. And everybody backstage now is treating it like Jeff Hardy really did that. And they're all distraught. And they're trying to figure out what to do because Daniel Bryan was supposed to wrestle Jeff Hardy in the semifinals of the Intercontinental title tournament, and Elias was supposed to wrestle AJ Styles, right? So Elias is taken out, and Jeff Hardy's taken out from this incident. So the wrestlers are there, and they suggest that they have several different matches, but then it's decided that they're going to do a battle royal, and the winner will face Daniel Bryan in the main event, and then the winner of that will face AJ Styles in the finals of the Intercontinental title tournament because Daniel Bryan said he wanted to wrestle a match. He didn't want to just get a bye to the finals, but AJ Styles, being the heel, said, no, I want to bye to the finals. I don't want to wrestle a match. So he didn't have to, which, like, that doesn't seem fair in any way, but whatever. It's SmackDown. It doesn't really matter. So Sheamus winds up winning the Battle Royal to earn a match with Daniel Bryan in the main event. They're wrestling. Jeff Hardy shows up. Now, he'd been arrested for drunkenly hitting Elias with his car. So he shows up, distracts Sheamus, allows Daniel Bryan to win. Daniel Bryan's going to go on to face AJ Styles in 2 weeks on SmackDown in the finals of the Intercontinental title tournament. Why they're not doing it on Backlash, I don't know. They're going to do it on the SmackDown before Backlash. So Jeff Hardy's out of jail somehow. So we are to understand that Sheamus attacked Jeff Hardy, beat him unconscious, then took alcohol, drenched Jeff Hardy with that alcohol, stole his rental car, waited in the parking lot to see Elias, and then on purpose hit Elias with his car so bad that Elias had to be taken to the hospital. And we still don't know the status of Elias. Everybody seemed way more concerned with Jeff Hardy and his arrest when he's like drunkenly hitting somebody than like the safety of Elias, which is pretty damn funny. No one cares about Elias. He's just a pawn in this whole thing. I wonder if Elias is ever going to come back and try and get revenge on Sheamus for trying to kill him. Jeff Hardy for sure is going to try and get revenge on Sheamus for trying to frame him for nearly killing Elias. So that's what Sheamus did on SmackDown. He, we didn't see it, but this is what we're to understand that he did. Sheamus committing several crimes. Beating Jeff Hardy unconscious. Dousing him with alcohol. Stealing his rental car and hitting Elias with that stolen car. And then he won a battle royal and wrestled the main event. Talk about dark side of the ring. By God, Sheamus, what a night for you. That is dark. I mean, that is very dark. I mean, if you really think about what's happening, my goodness. What story are they telling right now?
I have to say, it's very interesting, though. I mean, that was a much more exciting start to a show than we're usually expecting. We're expecting just like a promo where it's always interrupted or just a match. I mean, that was a unique way of starting a show that we haven't seen in a very long time. Not just the way things are now, but just in WWE, period. I haven't seen be into that. It's like, it feels like years. It's just the execution was a little off. I mean, they're not respecting social distancing whatsoever, so it doesn't seem very realistic. And like you said, there seems to be a lot of holes to the Sheamus thing. However, I imagine the hacker is probably going to expose everything, so it'll all be clear with that. Maybe there's more than just Sheamus involved in all this.
You were giving WWE way too much credit. Did you see that hacker gimmick on SmackDown? Nope. Guess why? They don't know what to do with it. That hacker gimmick might totally disappear, Johnny. For you to say, well, all these loose ends in the WWE are all going to be tied up neatly into a bow when this hacker gimmick is revealed is ludicrous, and you know it because you've been watching the WWE as long as I have, and you know that there are many loose ends that never, ever get tied up. Remember when Mojo, like whatever happened to Mojo talking to himself in the mirror? Remember that gimmick? That never went anywhere. There's a lot of things that don't go anywhere. That's a minor example. GTV, it's basically this current version of GTV. Never found out who was behind that.
Right, but I feel with this we're going to see something, though, because they invested way too much time into that. Just to completely drop it off. I feel like it's going to come back.
They've invested a lot of time and a lot of things that they totally dropped when they realized it was a bad idea. One word for you, John. Gobbledygooker.
Well, they invested Survivor Series? One event. I mean,
no. There was a lot of build for what's in the egg. What's in the egg? Come on now. Gobbledy Gooker. So elsewhere on SmackDown, we had Mandy and Otis by the pool. Otis asked Mandy if she wants to go in the pool. Mandy says she wants to take a nap instead. And then we go into a Mandy Rose dream sequence about sexy Otis, who's like in a pool, coming out of the pool, walking around the pool, and then making out with Mandy, which seems to be her fantasy. Otis then does a cannonball into the pool and apologizes for waking Mandy. And she says, "Oh no, it's okay. I was having a great dream." She then gets into the water and starts making out with Otis big time in the pool. Now, apparently they're a couple now. They didn't seem to be a couple. It seemed to be like, Otis was infatuated with Mandy. Mandy liked him as a friend. They were just kind of good buddies. But now it's like they're fully a couple because they're making out in the pool. Why is Mandy dreaming and fantasizing about something with Otis? I don't understand. Maybe Mandy, I'm trying to make sense of this, Johnny. Maybe Mandy fell asleep, had the dream, realized what she really wanted was Otis, and then when she woke up, she was like, you know what? This is what I really want. I finally realized it. Come here, big Otis. Let's have sexual relations. Like, this is what I understood by the little promo thing on SmackDown. I don't know, man. This was super weird.
Well, it's like I was telling you off air. I think this was some sort of parody they were trying to do because they love doing parodies. And I'm not sure which movie this is from. I don't watch a lot of romance movies, but I'm guessing it's something they wanted to do, and I guess this was their nice little twist to it. Yeah, I think you're kind of right about how this is what she wanted, so she just took what she wanted kind of thing. And yeah, okay, fine. But it felt weird watching it. Like, just all that for just that. It wasn't great.
No, it was not. It was strange. Drew Gulick reappears on SmackDown. Apparently his contract ran out, but he signed a new deal this week. He was in the Battle Royal there on SmackDown. Kurt Angle also reemerged in the WWE. I know that he was part of the releases when they released a bunch of people there a few weeks ago, but I think it's possible he was just furloughed because he's back pretty soon. He refereed a Matt Riddle-Timothy Thatcher match on NXT, and he cut a promo on SmackDown telling us that Matt Riddle is coming to SmackDown, the King of Bros. Bro. He's coming to SmackDown, which I think is cool. I like Matt Riddle. I'm a big fan. And I'm a big fan of Kurt Angle's as well. Bigger fan of Kurt Angle's. Glad to see him back in the WWE getting a paycheck. He's an Olympic gold medalist, and he won it with a broken freaking neck. He deserves a paycheck for life, brother.
Well, for me, the match of the week was that Fight Pit match with Riddle and Thatcher. That was fantastic. When Thatcher lost his teeth, that was a bloody, bloody mess. But it just made the match so much better. And then they fight on the scaffolding that's on top of the cage. It was a very unique, cool concept that they pulled off.
Yeah, and we are going to do a big NXT preview next week here on Wrestling Uncensored for the NXT In Your House. That is next Sunday. Are you ready?
I don't believe Matt Riddle is going to be on that, though. I think Matt Riddle is done with NXT now.
Yeah, that was it, right? What about the tag team titles?
Well, Imperium won them, I think, the week prior.
Oh, right. So that's it. Riddle's just been written off.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like that tag team he had with Pete Dunne, though. I'm disappointed that's over with. That was fun. But I'm excited to see what he does on SmackDown. He's a good wrestler, man. He's going to be fun on SmackDown.
He's a unique character, so it'll be interesting to see how they use him.
Adam Cole, Velveteen Dream. Last chance match for the NXT title. Keith Lee defending his NXT North American title against Johnny Gargano. Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. Charlotte Flair defending her NXT Women's title against Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai. And Tommaso Ciampa going one-on-one with Karrion Kross. Big week for Charlotte Flair. She was in that triple threat, losing to Nia Jax. Triple threat with Natalya. Nia Jax now the number one contender for Asuka, and they will wrestle for the Raw Women's title at Backlash. And Charlotte Flair will be wrestling Asuka on Monday night, one-on-one. And as the Queen said on Raw this week, Asuka has never beaten her. WrestleMania, SmackDown, they've had 2 matches in WWE, and Asuka has lost both times. I think Monday night is going to be Asuka's time. Charlotte went to SmackDown, lost to Bayley. I think SmackDown, or Charlotte goes to Raw and loses to the Raw Women's Champion there. I think that makes sense. Charlotte's losing on Raw and SmackDown now, putting those champions over while still maintaining her dominance over NXT and everybody else. Right? Charlotte should drop one to Asuka. I mean, it'll only make it 2-1. Charlotte's got to lose to Asuka at some point.
Well, Charlotte won on NXT this week. She won the tag team match. So she's not completely on a losing streak going into this match. So, yeah, she could take the loss. It's not impossible, but she's not someone who loses often. I mean, you thought she wasn't going to win at WrestleMania, but she did when it didn't seem to make a lot of sense. But it's Charlotte. So never bet against Charlotte that she might win in the end.
Yeah, I think she's going to lose to Asuka, though. I think that's the right thing to do. It's Asuka's show. I think that's the move. I'm a big fan of Asuka, and I like that the WWE, they're giving us Nia Jax here at Backlash because they know the big match, the SummerSlam match, is Asuka and Shayna. And they're delaying that. They're building it up. They're making us wait. That's how you build a big match in wrestling. Although there was no Shayna on Raw this week, so kind of hard to build Shayna when she's not around.
Well, she doesn't need to be on every week, though. You could still works. It's just, it's a slow build. It's fine.
She doesn't need to be on every week. You know how many people are on every week? Liv Morgan's on every week, John. I don't need to see a Liv Morgan promo ever again in my life. What is that stuff? Could we stop with the Liv Morgan promos? How about we eliminate the Viking Raiders Street Profits promos and the Liv Morgan promos and then give Shayna a match instead on Raw? How about that?
Well, no, I think everyone wants to hear about Liv Morgan living her best life. I'm sure you want to hear that every week, no?
No, I do not. I never want to hear Liv Morgan cut another promo. Edge's promo was good on Raw this week. I thought that was solid stuff, talking about how he's doubting himself. He's not sure he can be who he used to be, and he's going up to have the greatest match ever against Randy. He didn't say that, but that's what the WWE is calling it coming up at Backlash. I find it a little bit odd, though, that Edge is doubting himself so much when he won at WrestleMania.
Well, I think the reasoning behind this is that he won pretty much like a street fight practically. Like it wasn't a wrestling match. He's worried that he can't wrestle anymore. I think that's his problem. It's just funny, like you said, though, he didn't mention this was going to be the greatest wrestling match ever. Yeah, Kurt Angle on SmackDown said it, and I wonder if he got a kick out of that, thinking like, oh man, I just want to add this onto these guys and like rid them afterwards.
I think so. Ric Flair talked about it as well. Ric Flair cut a promo on Raw this week, and he was saying that this could be the greatest match ever. It's coming from Ric Flair. How much did they pay him to say that?
Quite a bit.
Ridiculous. Big Johnny, we will continue to follow you. We're looking forward to the day when we can see you back in a pro wrestling ring. In the meantime, follow him for the memories at North Genesis on Twitter, at Genesis Johnny North on Instagram. You can follow me on all the things at Dave Simon MMA. RingsideReport.net is our website. We will be doing a UFC 250 watch-along coming up on Saturday night, June the 6th, UFC 250. I'll be here. AJ will be here. Freddie will be here. UFC 250 watch-along coming up on Saturday. Do join us. Join us every Thursday at 8 p.m. on the YouTube channel for Ringside Report MMA live. Join us every Friday for Dave and Johnny live at 12:45 in the afternoon. This week, Johnny and I talked about Dark Side of the Ring Season 3. We threw out dozens of ideas for the next season of Dark Side of the Ring. If you're a wrestling fan, you definitely want to check that out. Talking some old school professional wrestling on the latest episode of Dave and Johnny Live. That's up on our website right now at ringsidereport.net. Thank you to everybody helping us out on the radio side, and thanks to you especially for listening and watching. For Johnny North, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Wrestling Uncensored. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.